the winning head coach of the Boyd Buchanan Buccaneers, and that is Kenneth White. And Coach White, thank you for taking the time to come over here and join us. Probably not the way you scripted it, but a win's a win this time of year, and you guys advanced to the semifinals of the region basketball tournament, so congratulations on the win, and kind of give us a recap of that game, which came down to the wire.
Oh, man. I'll tell you one thing. We're fortunate to be able to escape with a win. That's for sure. Cate, they came out and they fought in the second half, and we took our foot off the gas. I think when we held them to 5 points in the first half, I thought we kind of relaxed a little bit too much, even though we kind of cautioned against it. But we're high school kids, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. And we just came out with no energy. We were flat. Try to call a timeout to try to get us going a little bit. Still wasn't able to help for a little bit, but we just weren't able to go and respond in the right way. But like I said, we were fortunate. We hit a few free throws at the end, and we got a few stops, not many, but we got a few stops to be able to close it out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, any amount of number of stops, especially in a game like this, like you said, came down the wire. You held that team to 5 points in the first half, but definitely a lot to learn from as well, because, looking at the roster during this game, a lot of underclassmen, a lot of sophomores and juniors, so they're learning some lessons, not just for, the rest of the season that you guys are in, but going into their junior and senior years coming up as well. Absolutely.
But we're blessed, like I said, to be able to learn from a win, because our season could very well have been over, and it's hard to kind of, that would have been a hard pill to swallow and learn from that. So, we'll look at the film tomorrow, and we'll figure out how to get better and close out games and, and play a little bit better in the second half. And that hadn't been who we've been the whole year, so it was a little bit of a surprise to us that we came out the way that we did in the third quarter. And then we have do have a lot of underclassmen, and then our upperclassmen, a lot of those guys hadn't been in this situation because, they had some guys in front of them that would have been closing those games out, for them. And now they're in a position where they got to close the games out. They got to make the plays. They got to make the defensive stops. They got to cut to get open. So it's new territory for all of us.
Well, quick turnaround. I think the semifinals are Friday night, I believe. So kind of talk about the process there, and kind of you mentioned it just a second ago. Obviously, watching film, and I guess you don't care who you're playing as long as you get to play, right? So kind of talk about, I guess, the turnaround there. What you guys got to do to kind of re-rack and get ready for whoever you're going to play on Friday night at Silverdale.
Yeah, so tomorrow we'll do some film, and we'll get in a good practice in and try to start to put some stuff in from the Kings Academy or Collegedale, depending on who won that game. So we'll do some stuff there. We play both of them, so we're kind of familiar with what they do. But at the same time, we remind all these guys that just because you beat a team early in the year, it means absolutely nothing in the postseason, right? So hopefully we'll play a little bit more loose, knowing that it's not an elimination game per se, and it's for seeding purposes. But we certainly want to win in there and go in there and try to win that game. And then Thursday, we'll ratchet it up a little bit more, try to tighten up the game plan for Friday's game.
So, and going back to, I guess, non-region tournament talk, I think it's your first year here at Boyd Buchanan, so you're familiar with this area. You're a native of Chattanooga, so, you're familiar with the landscape here. Why this job? Why Boyd Buchanan to take over here for the Buccaneers?
I'd always heard great things about Boyd Buchanan. I had some relatives that attended school here many, many years ago. And then when the opening came available, I would obviously touch base with Josh Templeton. He had great things to say. And then I talked to so many people in the community that were just so high on Boyd that it definitely piqued my interest. And then when I came over to talk to Dr. Murley and everybody here and the leadership team, to me it was a no-brainer. You know what I mean? Coming from college, it was something I was looking forward to, getting back to high school, working with high school-age kids, being a head coach again. That was certainly intriguing to me. And then having the opportunity to coach my son, who's a 10th grader on the team, that certainly was a draw as well. But I wanted to be in the right situation. You know what I mean? And, I'm familiar with independent schools, having coached at Laws Inn in Memphis for years. So I'm familiar with this landscape. I feel like I know what you got to do to kind of win and be successful at this level. So it was something that was definitely within my comfort zone.